Hello, my friends. Dr. Rob Kiltz, how you doing? Dr. Faez Faruqi is joining me. He's just walking in right now. So welcome. Rocky Marcus, hello. Good morning. Let's see, Nicole, Gabby London. Good morning, Love, and Renee. Good morning, you guys. Dr. Faruqi, how are you doing today?
Good.
We are blessed brothers and here to share some ideas. We've been talking this morning about simplicity and really reducing inflammation. And glad you could join us today on the Fertile Fireside Chat. How are you doing today, Dr. Faruqi?
Very good.
Awesome.
By the way, do you have the fire on? No.
You know what?
Listen, no. Do we need a fire? Yes, we do.
All right. Let me light it up. You just share some thoughts.
So good morning, everyone. We were talking this morning about how to simplify our IVF cycles, plus improve our cycles so that people living remotely from us can benefit from easier monitoring, get things done, trying to reduce cost. Because that's our number one thing.
Right. Well,
help people get pregnant and reduce the cost.
Affordability, quality, and access for everyone. And Farhat, Christine, Vanessa, hello. Thank you for joining us. I did get the fire going a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to have to turn our Instagram a little bit.
There.
But, okay. But we want to make sure we get Dr. Faruqi.
Actually, even in summer, that fire has to be on.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
But we got to be heating it up every day, and we're all doing our very best. Let's see, Bunny. Let's see, Ganimete. Hello, Sherlyn. Hello, God bless to you, and thank you to everyone for sharing your ideas and creativity, and how we can all do better as physicians, as clinicians. We are grateful to our embryologists, our front office, and our back office team, and we're really learning to be better and learn more to make this an easier process, as hard as it is. We are working on our Sarasota, Atlanta, Colorado, really doing great. Dr. Banerjee was out there with Dr. Magarelli this last week. Dr. Banerjee is going to be in Buffalo this week, and we're really excited about getting Buffalo moving and building. Dr. Chang and Chris Ziegler, really our foundation of our Buffalo team. They're quite amazing, and we're grateful to all of them. So we're going to be taking questions today, sharing thoughts and ideas of how we can make your journey to a baby much more rewarding. And that's really the key to all of this. Let's see. So, these questions that you guys bring to us every day, we're talking about how to improve the sperm because it takes sperm quality and egg quality to make a baby.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the guys and how we can better improve the environment for guys, Dr.
All right. So classically, that's been a problem since we've been residents. We've been focusing a lot on women. And male infertility has always been kind of on the back burner until recently we're beginning to realize 50% of cases have some male infertility implication. Number one cause of male infertility, oxidative stress to the sperm, which in other words,
we're all living a very stressful life.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the nature of it though. But what are some of the things that maybe we're doing wrong in our Western world or Western environment?
That's a really good question. Even you and me don't know the absolute answer to it, but we do know there's something wrong.
Well,
there is something wrong.
Maybe we're sitting too much. I did a great Highway to Health segment last week, a radio segment, and for mostly those men and women who are driving on the roads, and the question was, well, is sitting in a car all day, maybe even at a desk all day, going to adversely affect the sperm?
Well, temperature has an effect of causing sperm damage. There is all kinds of oxidants, medication, environment, actually even what you eat at the end of the day. And that probably has a much higher effect than we have ever thought.
So heating anything, egg and sperm, is going to cook the eggs, the sperm, denature the DNA, affect morphology. So we know that morphology is really critical. We look at it and we say, well, gee, it's not good. And interesting, about only 4% normal forms is considered normal or above.
Yeah, but you know what? Why? Yeah, because and we have this question all the time. How come only 4% of sperm is normal? Because years ago, when we asked Dr. Kiltz, is this sperm good? He'd say, yeah. Then they asked Dr. Faruqi, and I'd say no. So WHO came up, which is World Health Organization. They said, listen, guys, we need to have
a story,
a standard. Right?
But we're not standard.
No, we're not.
We're not standard.
No, but people come to us and say, hey, there's something wrong with my husband. He has 3% normal sperm instead of 4%. The truth is that it's what's called strict morphology criteria. So if you're going to ask someone, are you a good-looking guy or not? It's very subjective.
And the same thing goes with morphology.
Yeah.
And so, because even when you have a lower morphology, even if you have great morphology, we do not know what's going on deep within the DNA of the sperm.
Correct.
And so a lot of it is we're still recommending the molecular fertility for men, the low-dose naltrexone, get off the treadmill. The Snowballs briefs basically puts a little cool pack next to the testes to cool them down. Maybe there should be a stand-up desk in a truck, right? You can drive your truck standing up. But basically, much of what I wind up doing is standing up at my desk, but most of all, get off the treadmill, and dietary changes for anti-inflammation are really important.
This stuff, I mean, not just this particular one, but any male fertility supplements, they actually do work. We see a difference.
It does.
It does. It really does.
It does. All right, Ganymede, hello. How are you guys doing? A quick question there. After the IVF yesterday had been negative, I was wondering, is it too early to tell if I'm pregnant? It's too early to tell. You have to be patient in the process and always focus on the positive. But that 2 weeks after retrieval, if you've done a fresh transfer, if it's a negative, it's possible, but we're always looking to change it up if what you did wasn't working. We always want to be changing it up and not losing hope. All right, a quick one.
I just want to, and also don't do too many pregnancy tests right after a trigger, because that does make pregnancy tests falsely positive.
Right. And if you go to Amazon, download our family building guide, or Kiltz's Keto, or the Fertile Feast, you'll learn a lot about the things that you can take into your own hands in mindfulness and food changes. One of the biggest things I've recommended is 1 meal a day. Critical at night. Stop snacking all day. No matter what you eat, if you're snacking all day, you're fueling the furnace of inflammation in the bowels. Amanda McKamey, starting back up at 41 years young, one of my frozen embryos, tested embryos, normal tested. Good morning from East Tennessee. So remember, learn the things that you can do today to reduce the inflammation in your body, to improve implantation of your embryo, the sperm and egg interaction, and the growing of your baby, by the way. All right, let's see here. How the questions coming. You guys are really awesome, amazing. Jess, BWC89, Kier, Solly, Shanika, hello, how are you?
Chrissy.
All right, good morning. G. Barry Greer, GB. I apologize. I'm the dyslexic one around here. All right, P.S. Our IVF journey. Can you read that?
I retrieved one of my mature eggs on Monday, and it disintegrated. Starting a dual stem now. Should I up my dosage or keep the same? AMH is 0.1. That's a little bit of a low AMH. Generally, increasing dosages is not what it fans out to be. Your response is, at the end of the day, is the same with a high dose or a low dose. The only difference we think is that the lower the dose, the better the quality of the eggs. Because we don't look, the eggs don't see us as being so desperate and just send anyone out there.
And then 4 to 7 days-ish, these aren't exact, written in stone, but get going on another duostem. And at the same time, really important to change your diet, change what you're doing mindfully, right? Stop looking at all the numbers even, because an AMH of 0.1, I've seen babies from. And so we have to imagine that these are only maybe markers to guide and direct us a little bit, to let us know exactly what to do That's the hard part. But begin by imagining I am fertile. Both my sperm and egg and embryo are great, and my implantation environment is really good. So I really believe just getting started, but remember, it's a journey of persistence. If you're not persistent, well then
just like any journey,
right?
At every mile marker, you don't come to your destination. You just got to keep going, and you end up doing it. And never underestimate the power of your mind, the effect it has on your fertility. It must change your neurotransmitters. It improves sperm production for men. It improves ovulation for women. I mean, here's an example. When you're in college and you're stressed, what happens? Your cycle gets messed up. Mind controls fertility.
Mind controls matter, and matter ultimately is the fertility.
Yeah.
And so it really is so critical that why I wrote a book called The Fertile Secret. I took that from The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. If you haven't read the book by Rhonda Byrne, you must. But really, it's about how to imagine what you wish to be as if it already is, which seems hard to do, doesn't it? But the more you practice it, the more unfolds in your life. Quick question from Casey Mappa Ahmed. Hello, Casey.
It is so disappointing when you have no explanation for secondary infertility. I'm assuming unexplained infertility.
Well, remember, so it's always really so simple. The explanation is inflammation, always. Inflammation is the cause of all disease. Go to Amazon, download my book on Kiltz's keto lifestyle. It's a game changer. When you realize that everything looks good in the sperm, everything looks good in the egg environment, the ovulatory environment, the tubes are open. You may have even had a laparoscopy for endo. The really important thing to realize is that by changing the mind and the mouth and the motion of the body, you will improve your fertility. So the explanation is inflammation. Microscopic particles of bugs and viruses and bacteria and yeast and plant products are lodging deep within every nook and cranny of your body, eliciting inflammation, along with the heat of the bowels through fermentation, because we're eating a high plant-based, fiber-filled diet, and we shouldn't be doing that. I know. So great. Yes, it is disappointing, but you got to change what you think of it. You've got to dig deep into learning a different way in all of this. All right.
Okay. What are our patients from Canada? Right.
Hello, Real Taylor.
Ajay.
All right.
Realtor Ajay.
Immature doesn't mean. All right. How about this one?
If my last retrieval, all my eggs were immature, does it mean poor egg quality, or do we need to stim longer? I stimmed for 8 days. We just had that. We just talked about that half an hour ago. How difficult it is to make conclusions just out of one cycle. From a cycle to cycle, each cycle is an independent, unique event. And if this kind of thing is happening all the time, maybe we could come up with some sort of a conclusion. But on a single cycle, you really can't make a lot of.
It comes up a lot. So in essence, when we do an IVF cycle, we're learning something. So it may be part of the problem is you're not maturing your eggs very well. So that's where it's a change in your protocol, either adding human growth or removing human growth, adding a little bit of Menopur or upping the low dose HCG, or going down in the protocol. It might be trigger a day early or a day later. This is the mystery.
Yeah.
But change what you're doing. The ovarian bloom and the female supplements, add those. Go to molecularfertility.com and you can download those and get those. I think they can be very helpful, but it is reducing inflammation that's so important. All right, let's see here. I apologize. We're trying to get to all the questions, and we've got to go slow, don't we, Dr. Faruqi? All right, Sherlyn. All right, hello to everyone. Let's see. Here's a good long one. All right. Susie Q. All right. Looking for some insight. First retrieval failed, 1 embryo. Frozen transfer failed. Second retrieval, no eggs. Removed bad tube. 6 frozen donor eggs and only 2 embryos. Frozen transfer, 1 donor embryo. Positive pregnancy, ectopic.
That's too bad.
Emergency surgery, removed the tube. It was an empty sac. One embryo left. Nurse said, go ahead and transfer after next period. Okay, so here's where you need to step back for a moment, right? What are the things that we can add to that?
Well, first of all, one of the things we're seeing here is there was a problem with the tubes. Tube problems actually can also cause problems with implantation. For what reason, Dr. Kiltz?
Inflammation.
There you go.
It's all inflammation.
Yeah. So we got rid of the one tube, and now you got rid of the other tube. So already you're much better off. It's very, very unfortunate that you had an ectopic there. We need to step back. We need to look at your whole situation. Are you doing everything you can to help yourself?
Reduce the amount of food you eat, the frequency. Add more fat. Kiltz's keto lifestyle really is anti-inflammation. And then maybe look at our immune protocol 3 and 4, or simplify to a point where you simply do letrozole, trigger, and transfer. But this is all part of the journey. Unfortunately, it's not easy at all.
And okay, but when you do change your lifestyle, does it really make a difference? How many cycles do we do? We do.
It makes a difference.
I mean,
big.
We've been taught our way of thinking, even yours and mine. We're medical students and residents.
You have better thinking than I do, for sure.
I don't think at all, but
that's true.
That's the best thing. But we were taught that everything works with medicine, and here's the science, and here's the numbers, and we've never been taught about like lifestyle changes and its effect. We hear a lot about it, but does it really change something with the amount of cycles we do?
It does all day
Hell
long.
yes.
All day long.
We see so much differences.
So again, look at our online books, look at our website, a lot of really great information for all of us, because we need it. Recurrent pregnancy loss and lifestyle change to prevent
recurrent
pregnancy loss. And again, if we go to the Fertile Feast, Kiltz's keto lifestyle, and look at our online protocols. But so what is the cause of repetitive pregnancy loss? It's inflammation. Inflammation damages the DNA, damages the implantation environment, damages everything about our bodies. So really one of the biggest and most important things that I've learned, and Dr. Faruqi has taught me much of this, is reducing inflammation.
Yes. And ultimately, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Yeah, you're an honest guy. Honestly, it's such a miracle, implantation. It blows our minds, even though we know all of this, how it actually happens. We don't even understand 20% of the processes. However, I believe very strongly immune system has a lot to do with it. I think everything in fertility right now is focusing on the effect of the immune system in implantation. That's, of course, if we've ruled out uterine problems, which is easy.
But we're assuming, so look at too much of looking for too many, we have questions, we're looking for a test to answer it. It's absolutely already there. If you're infertile or repetitive losses, which I put in the same box as infertility, it's always inflammation. We're approaching this as a blanket, right? We're going to treat you as if we know that there's inflammation in the sperm environment, the egg environment, the uterine implantation environment. This is why we recommend laparoscopy, hysteroscopy for endometriosis. We recommend a month of antihistamine, a month of antimicrobial protocols. We recommend Kiltz's keto lifestyle. We got another question back to keto, right? But there's simple things you can do by simply going to one meal, one snack, which will reduce inflammation tremendously.
By the way, people who eat regular meals, how am I going to be able to survive with one meal a day? Because I'll get hungry. Actually, you're not hungry.
Well, it's a practice, right? Yes. It's a new lifestyle
once your body adapts, you actually are rarely hungry. And you can go easy one meal a day.
But we are meant to be hungry because we're meant to eat food when we found it, because thousands of years ago, food was not easy to find. Now it's so easy, but your brain doesn't know that tomorrow there's food. Your brain is always making you prepared. Getting fat from eating is the genetic thing that's supposed to happen. The fat doesn't cause damage or disease. The filling of the bucket with a carbohydrate, plant-based, poisonous diet is really it. So it's really important to, when you've had multiple failures, repetitive losses, this is where prednisone, aspirin, Lovenox, lipids, Neupogen, Plaquenil, Prograf, IVIG, Humira, even Cimzia may be important. But number one is Kiltz's keto lifestyle. And, listen, I'm learning from others, but we branded it in a way that is more fun, right? We should call it Faruqi Kiltz Ferrari lifestyle, which is we're just Ferraris and that's it. All right, Megan Smith, you want to take that?
We did protocol 3. It's the first time going through IVF. I just got a positive pregnancy test. Trust CNY and trust the process. Thank you, Dr. Kiltz, for giving me my rainbow baby.
All right, and it is critical for all of us to recognize that we're all beautiful human beings, no matter your size, shape, age, weight, description of gender, relationship, or culture, or religious, spiritual beliefs, or non-beliefs. We are all beautiful human beings that absolutely need to love ourselves, love our partners, our friends, our colleagues. The more we bring love to the table, the more amazing things grow, or the fields, the fertile grounds, right? Chat about ways to improve egg quality. Jessup.
Well, it's the same what we were just talking about. Diet, taking supplements, antioxidants, lifestyle.
Slow it down, more prayer, meditation, and faith. Have faith and spirit over facts and science, but they all kind of work together. That's really it. And it's reducing inflammation. So remember, the environment of the ovaries sits right next to the colon, right? If the colon is filled with plants and sugar, plants and fiber, it's going to ferment. It makes heat, alcohol, aldehyde. This is why the one meal or less fertile fasting is the fastest way to a baby, which seems crazy. Eat 3 to 6 plant-based, fiber-filled, fruit-filled meals a day. My friends, they're killing us in the wrong advice. I'm sorry. Whether you're a vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, pescatarian, or carnivorian, it doesn't matter. One meal, one snack, maybe. Add the fat. And
Guatemala.
Oh, Guatemala.
Hello.
Mrs. Morales. Hot yoga. No hot yoga. Cool it down, right? And get off the treadmill, slow it down. That's really the most important thing that we should all be thinking about. Question for Dr. Faruqi.
LDN, is it for retrieval, transfer, or both? I tried taking it, but I was having a hard time staying awake during the day. LDN is a low-dose naltrexone. It's an agent that helps reduce inflammation. And it's sort of like it tames your immune system. If it's overactive, it reduces it. If it's underactive, it helps it.
So what I would say is lower the dose. Go to the 1 to 1.5 or the 2 to 3 milligram. And if you're taking it at night, take it in the morning. Switch it up. But we can't all tolerate everything we take. So change it up. If something you're doing isn't making you feel right, eliminate it for now. And we're open to lots of different changes in this. But this is why, again, a little bit of coffee, tea, more water, more breath and mindfulness, and cool it down and slow it down. That's really, really important to do. You do one meal a day if meds are to be taken with food. Listen, my bet is a little sip is all this meds with foods. I kind of wonder if that's really true. My bet is it's not true. So I would say a little bit of water, a little bit of tea, or a little bit of coffee.
Or even if you take a little bit of food, doesn't really matter.
but again, I'd say that, for me, it's fatty meat, but maybe it's a little piece of quiche or cheese, but it really is, in my opinion, probably not so true. We're taking too many drugs. And by the way, a lot of these things we talk about are whether you're working to have a baby naturally, IUI, IVF, it's all sorts of these opportunities. But I would say that, again, low-dose naltrexone is really good. Lower the dose one time at morning or night, switch it up. And meal-wise, if you need to take these drugs, a little bit of water or tea is all good. And remember,
and you know that in Canada we don't have LDN, so it's not that easy to find it. But
what about CBD oil? Can you guys get CBD oil in
yes,
Canada?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, but listen, marijuana, tobacco, alcohol are not good for the human Ferraris, right? We're working to have a baby. You want to improve the egg environment, the sperm environment, the embryo implantation environment. Alcohol is no good. Certainly drugs and tobacco, smoking, marijuana, no good, no good, no good. You got to be careful about CBD oil, making sure it's very, very low or no, essentially undetectable THC. All these meds on one's liver. These medications may have adverse effects on our body. So ultimately, even less is best. We're working to do, we talked about more natural IVF cycles, even without medications. A simple trigger shot may be all you need to this, but
it's not for everyone. We have to find the right.
But in some ways, we've been told no, that won't work for you. But I would say we don't really know that until we individually do something different than you've done to get what you want. By the way, let's see. 16, 18 fasting 3 months ago. I do 23 and 1. I do not eat for 23 hours. I make my one meal and I enjoy it in one. And then I rest and digest, allow the bowels to empty to reduce the sugar streaming to your liver and the proteins, which essentially we're getting way too much, by the way. All right, Anna, let's see. We got one from Anna Bartolini. Let's see, success rates of ovarian rejuvenation. But that's a tough one. I can't give you a number. No one knows these numbers. It really is, it depends how young you are. What do we add to this? Is it PRP? Is it human growth hormone? But the lifestyle change is critical. I think LDN, CBD, but Kiltz's keto lifestyle is such a home run to improve egg and sperm and embryos. But if it's not working and you don't have the time or the money to get there, take a step back. Take a little time off.
And I also, my gut feeling is everything we're doing for ovarian rejuvenation, the younger you are, probably the more likely it's going to make a significant impact.
It is. But we've seen premature menopause suddenly get pregnant.
Well, that's the younger group.
Under 35 better. The 35 to 45 a little more challenging. But all these things matter. But what we're open to do is try ovarian PRP, intrauterine PRP, human growth hormone. More than anything, my belief is the diet we're dying from, which is a high plant-based 3 to 6 meals a day, which is deadly. We're not grazing animal. If you choose to eat only a plant-based diet, do it only in one meal. 23 and 1 is the very best way to get there. And then add the fat, cook the carbs well. It's critical in this. Vitamin D is high. Does it affect IVF process overall? Well, let's see. If it's high and you're taking supplements, get off the supplements. But anything too high or too low adversely affects everything.
And vitamin D, actually, at super high doses could be toxic.
Right.
So you got to be careful.
Look at this idea that more is better is less is the very best, in my opinion. We need to be focusing more on.
Actually, the more you're close to the human animal that we're supposed to be, the better you are.
So 20,000, 50, 100,000 years ago, how often did you get a meal?
Well, you wished you had it every hour, but you couldn't. You had to walk out, go hunt. It took a lot of energy to do that.
We hunted and gathered, brought our meals together, had our meal, whether it's once a day or once a week.
Yeah, and donuts and breads didn't grow on trees, so we couldn't go and pick them up.
And seeds and nuts were not there for us to eat all the time. And my bet is that isn't what our primary meal was. So fake milks out of seeds and nuts, I think, are deadly. And remember, an avocado is a fruit. It's not fat, right? I know, crazy. All right, another question, Dr. Faruqi. Let's see here. Let's see. All right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what is the question?
Is keto diet recommended for people having a fatty liver? What chances do you recommend for them? What changes do you recommend for them in a keto diet?
23 and 1. 23-in-1 is the way to get the baby you want and to get rid of all the diseases. That's all you need to do.
As paradoxical as it sounds, when you're on a keto diet, which means high fat
Kiltz is keto.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well, a little plug.
People eat fat and lose weight. They lose body fat by eating fat. It is paradoxical. And that's also how you will get rid of your fatty liver, because it's excess fat accumulation in the liver.
When you eat plants and a lean meat, you're filling the body with a lot of amino acids and a lot of simple sugars, which ultimately all of them go to the liver, and all of them are almost all converted to fat. The liver's primary function is to make fat, because without it, you're dead. When you eat fat, fat is soap. It cleanses and lubricates the bowels. The fat goes to the lymphatics and it's distributed everywhere. Fat comes from animals. Oils come from plants. We did not ever have access to any significant amount of oils until we started industrially producing them. As a true human being, another beautiful animal created in the universe, remember, no plant wants to be eaten, so they make poisons to disrupt your reproduction, which is really crazy. But if you have a fatty liver, keto is kick-ass amazing, and you learn so much. Again, 23-in-1. Thank you to our patient from, let's see, where did our 23-in-1 comment come from again? I apologize.
That's from Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Yeah.
Awesome. Keto help with endometriosis? Yes, it does. Endometriosis is simply a inflammatory condition like psoriasis, arthritis, migraines, IBS, colitis, Crohn's. It doesn't matter. Even ALS and MS is all inflammatory. Kiltz's keto lifestyle. 23. This is my new one. 23-in-1 rather than one. It really is, because you can drink water. You can have a little snack here and there, but if you're snacking on seeds all day long, they're putting the poisons in you that are absolutely going to kill your sperm and eggs and embryos and a lot other places in your body. Good question, Dr. Faruqi.
If my cycle is 25 to 26 days, should I expect my egg retrieval a little earlier, monitoring apps, or than a typical schedule? Tomorrow is my cycle day 1. I'll be coming to Syracuse for monitoring. Once we start using meds to stimulate your cycle, what you were doing without that doesn't really matter, because it's being controlled now by our meds. So
we're taking over your TV set.
Yeah.
Was that Outer Limits or
we're kind of like a virus. We go and we invade your system and make you produce more eggs, because normally you're only producing one egg, and we're actually trying to get you to produce multiple eggs. So your actual cycle length does really not matter when we're doing
Mama Titi, crazy story. My mom said in the 70s in Mexico, she was helping a doctor tubal transplants with pig veins. Why are we doing that? I don't know. We have to do better, and maybe looking at tubal.
Well, tubal transplants require immunosuppression.
Right, but it's possible. It's possible, right?
There was actually in the early 80s, before IVF, research being done on uterine and tubal transplants. It was very, very difficult surgeries, a lot of blood loss, and then all of a sudden IVF came along, which got people pregnant without doing all these surgeries.
Right, and ultimately it's probably better, but it's not an impossibility, and maybe someone's going to do some work.
Well, actually, they started up again. Recently, there has been some case reports of successful uterine transplants.
Right. So uterine transplants, but they're taking out the tube. They're not transplanting those, but that's a good one. We have to be open. A little bit on adenomyosis, Dr. Faruqi.
What would be your treatment for adenomyosis? Adenomyosis is another word that pretty much says endometriosis
or
inflammation.
Inflammation, right?
Of this time of the uterine muscle. You got to be careful with adenomyosis. It's not the same as a fibroid, where we could go and remove the fibroid and then everything else is hunky-dory. But with adenomyosis, if we start doing surgery, we might be messing up your uterus. So usually we would address adenomyosis more like endometriosis rather than fibroids. What do you think?
Well, I think adenoendofibroids, it really caused all the same thing. It's just the way it presents itself. It's all inflammation. It's due to a high plant-based diet, low-fat diet, inflammation, eating the wrong things too much and too hot. So we treat it with Orilissa, Lupron, Letrozole, which may help shrink it a little bit, but we're also treating with all the same things we treat all inflammation for. The adenomyosis isn't really amenable to surgical procedures, but in some cases they may be. So you really want to make sure that you're talking to someone, and there are tremendous number of specialists out there. Talk to your OBGYN, talk to your reproductive endocrinologist, look and talk to them, ask them, but do your research, because there's so much information out there free of charge. That's the critical key. Nicole Wamsley, week late due to omnitrope and or estrase. No worry, by the way. Get an ultrasound and blood work. We'll see where you're at, and quite commonly we'll just get you started. We're going to be working on more estrase and prometrium instead of just estrase. I think that's important personally. Just get an ultrasound and blood work. We'll see where that lot puts you, and we look forward to seeing you also. Question for Dr. Faruqi, J. Mandy.
I was watching YouTube, and one of the commercials came out about inflammation. It was naming foods that can cause it and worsen it, and it said fiber. Your body can digest fiber. It doesn't. Your body does not digest fiber, and you can't digest it properly. As your age, it causes inflammation to you. Basically, it's what we've been saying.
But I, as a child, had bad bowel problems. I had migraines, and no one could figure it out. I ate a high plant-based, fiber-filled diet, lots of meat, and I ate 3 to 6 times a day. And so you're right, Jay. And fiber is the fuel for the fire in the bowels, and it's a cause of colon cancer and infertility and all other diseases.
And listen, even the people who give you advice about diet, the American Diabetes Association, all these people, they keep changing their guidelines every so many years.
But they still include mostly a high plant-based diet.
Yeah, but it's the truth is that there's nothing to wonder here. The closer you are to the way you were designed, the better you are.
That's it.
We were not really designed to be plant eaters.
Well, we're Ferraris. We can eat a little bit of plant from time to time, but we're mostly meant to be meat fat eaters. But again, we have the ability, if you simply go to the 23-and-1 way, then the one way will heal all of your inflammation. But get rid of the fiber, cook it well, and add the fat. Carissa, embryos, let's see, what caused embryos to not grade well? Well, actually, bad teachers who inappropriately grade an embryo is good or bad. My opinion is,
well, we should talk about that.
Okay, come on, let's talk about it.
There's so many people that ask us this question. I don't have good grade embryos. Do you know that recently we came up with a study? I know we don't read too many studies, but recently we came up with a study, and pregnancy rates of very low grade embryos were surprisingly high. At the end of the day, I don't think we even know which embryo is destined to be a baby. We don't throw embryos away, do we?
Well, we would have thrown you away.
For sure.
And they would have thrown me away.
I guarantee they would have thrown you away.
It's subjective, but I've seen the worst embryos. We've had patients go to other facilities with embryos from us, and they said they would never transfer them. And they came back to us, we transferred them, and so many of them had a baby from that.
Or even vice versa. There's clinics that said, we're not going to transfer this embryo because we don't want to transfer this. And they brought their embryos to us.
Even PGS graded abnormal embryos, I've seen normal babies from. So if an embryo doesn't get in a uterus, it can never become a beautiful human child and being. So that's really key.
So I am thinking that as time goes by, probably no one's going to be throwing embryos away. The evidence is overwhelming.
It's clear. And so I was either fair or poor most of my life, and I feel like in some way I'm still that. Let's see, Jenna Davis, AMH 11, PCOS, IVF instead of medicated cycles. You can still do medicated cycles with intercourse IUI for sure. Remember, always keto lifestyle look at our online through Amazon, game changer, 23 and 1 meal a day.
And especially with PCOS.
Oh, yes. PCOS.
That is where you're going to see the difference the fastest.
And if you go to carnivore keto, if you can, the game changer, in my opinion, we are mostly carnivores in our ancient way. You need to eat the fat, the bone marrow, the bone broth, the organ meats. It is like amazing. Last night I made for Dr. Faruqi's son, Mikael, who's in medical school, and Tia's brother, Damien, the best ribeye steaks, rare, with the grease from the pan in a bowl. We could pour over it in the butter. But I did make some amazing duck fried French fries with beautiful salt, dipped in mayonnaise, amazing. But and don't forget ovarian acupuncture, aka ovarian drilling. But don't forget about endometriosis and all the other potential causes on the sperm side, the egg side, the embryo side. It's all part of the process. But the higher AMHs, in my opinion, are indicative of metabolic disorder, pre-diabetes, and I believe the plants contain the poisons that actually cause these problems. And it's like very stupidly simple. I know I'm a repetitive idiot some days, and it's a crazy game changer, isn't it, Dr. Faruqi?
Yes, yeah.
And he's had to live with my craziness for so many years.
26 to be exact.
And so grateful we're all a family, by the way. We are learning from you how to change things. So as you just gather information from Dr. Google, bring it our way. We're learning tremendously. I've learned so much from Dr. Alan Beer, Dr. Jeff Braverman, Dr. Andre Vidali on immunology. We are reproductive immunologists at See My Fertility. We dig deep, and my bet is it's all just an inflammatory condition.
That's a good one there. Melissa, she's asking us, is molecular fertility supplements available in Canada? And I was going to talk to you about
Not yet, but they're going to
Yes.
be. Not yet, but they're going to be. Whatever we need to do, we're going to make that happen for everyone.
It's not that hard to bring it to Canada, by the way.
Right. But we're working
So
on
we're working on it.
We've had a tremendous challenge in the COVID craziness in getting the resources to make more and really focus on building this for you guys.
Yes.
Let's see. Uterus massage day before. Look at massage, acupuncture, meditation, light therapy. All are equally beneficial to improving your transfer, your IUI, your intercourse cycle. Look at Fertile Hope Yoga with Aaron. We're working with Megan Thomas now, also in bringing more yoga to you. Our Fertile Spirit, really working on bringing that in order to calm the mind and the body. Which question do you have? Rebecca.
Right there.
Rebecca Dutton.
That's a very interesting question. Oh,
Go ahead, read it, please.
Seems like CNY does a lot of things, protocols, diets, differently than other fertility centers. Why are you not publishing all this in peer-reviewed literature to spread some of these ideas and make them more recognized in the field?
Well, there's all peer review. Well, all right. There's
the ivory tower.
Well, listen. the way to spread the word is talk about it and share it. If it's all available to everyone out there. Quite commonly, peer reviewed means you have to be accepted to get it published, and there's a lot of judgment in this scientific world, which I've learned through lots of stress and struggles. That I'm just sharing ways of ideas that this too will come to the peer review, but really science sometimes is very narrowly minded, and we all need to change our minds. I talked to a professor in Boston the other day on how we have been too close-minded to reproductive immunology. It's time to open up and not be so resistant. We in medicine, in science, are resistant to change. That's why I'm not doing my work to get published and perish, right? That's the genre of Western medicine. If you're not published and accepted into the peer review, you're out of here, my friends. And I decided to simply share it in this way. But Rebecca, if you want to go for it and do some ideas and thoughts on research, but
I mean, we're definitely open. Another problem with research in infertility is that it is extremely hard to prove anything in infertility. Even what we're doing now as a classic infertility treatments, it's really, really difficult to prove that they are better than doing some other treatments, because every cycle is unique, every patient is unique. It's really hard to come up with stuff.
Is in the pudding and the stories we're all seeing in social media and the internet and Dr. Google. Each individual person is now able to become their own advocates as doctors. Peer-reviewed journals have a lot of great information. We're hoping that more great research, but it's now open access for everyone. So I think that, to me, is the way we need to go more and more and more. This is how I found about diet and new protocols, because I've gotten chastised over my dietary recommendations. But I will tell you, when I did them myself, and I've seen so many people heal from it, I'm going like, why are we saying no way when it's so obvious and easy? But it's a challenge. Good question, Rebecca. Thank you. Let's see. Carissa again. All four are graded fair. Do you recommend transferring one or two? 32. I generally recommend one, but occasionally two, especially day threes. It's up to you, but whoever you're working with practitioner-wise will help guide you on that.
Yeah. If you don't have children, it's easier for us to transfer 2 day threes. If you have children, we're trying to avoid.
But it's individually, yes, right?
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right. We'll work with the individual. There's no blanket way that everyone can do two or everyone has to do one. Let's see. Explanation teaching makes me feel so much better and understand that there's still hope. Hopeful. When you're hoping less, simply begin to think, I'm hoping full. And whatever your religion, dig deep into it. Your spirituality, dig deep into it. Or if you're an atheist and an agnostic, or dig deep into something different than you've been learning. Because when you dig into differences, you'll find something magical and a miracle out there that I, as a Catholic, Christian, atheist, agnostic, spiritualist, Buddhist, and back to quote Catholicism, I'm learning that God is right within all of us. And that's the critical component that we all need to dig deep into this. All right, let's see. Do I get this one coming up? Let's see, Dia Johnson, 22 years young. We should put YY, years young, by the way, for all of us. Trying to get pregnant into partner IVF. We do, since technically we can't try. So we will help you with that. Get an appointment with one of our clinicians, whether it's a practitioner, an NPPA, or MD. But our nursing team is amazing. We can get you moving forward to help you using either eggs, donor sperm, either it's a friend, a family member of one of you guys, relationship, or it's anonymous. We do a lot of reciprocal IVF, taking eggs from both, making embryos, and then whichever way you want to go in this journey, we're here to help in so many ways. Every breath gives us another chance of hope.
Yes.
Breathing is really critical. Slow. You could tell my energy goes, and then I nap. Go, and rest. But you need to focus on the breath. I do a morning mindful meditation in Mind, Body, Smile, drkiltz.com. Take a look at it, but most of all, get yourself a journal, right, Dr. Faruqi, and write your beautiful thoughts and how God is within all of us humans throughout the globe, right? And if we can see God in all things, in all of us, if you're judgmental or challenged or angry or sad, that's our normal ancient instinctual drive. But step back and begin to change the thinking. Listen to more audiobooks about positivity in your life. And positivity is brought to us by prayer. And the gratitude attitude is the same. Jane Lesko, do you want to read that, Dr. Faruqi?
I have a hard time with this as well. I'm on my feet all day and I work, I eat often, I get shaky, feel sick very quickly, my metabolism is high, I eat small amounts often and can't eat large volumes at a time. I'm sure you're eating a lot of carbs.
So we're addicted. So your body is addicted to carbs because when carbs were available 50, 100,000 years ago, if you didn't go on a feeding frenzy and get fat, you were going to be dead. But basically, you're having withdrawal symptoms because your universe wants you to smoke a cigarette, drink alcohol, drink coffee, drink or eat something because your body wants you to get fat. Ultimately, your body does not burn what you eat today. Your food is converted to fat. You do not burn sugar. Your most important thing is not making glycogen, it's making fat. And so it's a daily practice, but by adding fat, ketogenic diet lifestyle is a high fat diet. Add real fat, butter, cream, coconut oil. I'll give you. I'm not a big fan of it, but if you're a vegan, that's coconut, hemp seed oil, are the ways you may be able to do it. But as a vegetarian, ghee, butter, cream, cheese, fatty, and eggs, I think, are the home run for sure. Our metabolism is our metabolism. Our cells are doing what they do. But the modern world is addicted. We're addicted to all sorts of things, but only one person can change and control your addictions, and that is you. That is it. You're in charge of the Ferrari. And by changing it to maybe 2 meals a day, but remember, fat has twice the calories as a protein or a sugar. And you had access to large fat stores thousands of years ago. But today we are storing fat so fast because we're eating 3 to 6 plant-based, sugar-filled meals a day. Dr. Faruqi, do you want to grab this one over here on our Instagram?
What's the number one thing you can recommend one should focus on to prep for an upcoming transfer, especially after 2 transfers that did not work? Don't give up, number one.
Keep at it.
Yeah, yes, because it always ends up working. Lifestyle changes, that's what we've been talking about a lot today. We go back and look at what we did, see if we can change something, improve something. Don't forget the immune system. Immune system is really, really, really underestimated, but it is there.
It's all immunology.
Yeah.
This is the thing about fertility and all diseases. It's related to immunology and inflammation. And so you want to reduce the inflammation by looking at Kiltz's Keto Lifestyle and a Family Building Guide on Amazon, or go to our website. Those are really the things. But the other thing is that if you haven't read The Secret or The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, and Rhonda Byrne wrote The Secret, it is really put a picture of yourself with a baby, your partner with the baby, no matter your gender, relationship description, you want to put pictures on your walls, on your devices that your brain will see as if it already is. And it will be that or better, more amazing than you ever understood. All right. Another Trophy Wife 67, Chinese medicine that cold feet, cold uterus, kidney yang deficiency can be uninviting to a baby. Keep your feet warm. How does this compare to
us?
US?
US medicine, maybe?
All medicine is integrated between East and West. We all are. We all have some form of Eastern and Western concepts that we've integrated. I would say it really is simple. Imagine that what you wish to be, and it will be. A lot less food, even a lot less medicines and drugs. In some way, I'm not even sure we know what's in most of those supplements and herbal things that we take on all sides, by the way. So less is best. Your kidneys and feet are perfect. If they're cold and you're cold, warm them up. What do they say? Cold hands, warm heart. And
cold heart.
Well, you're the cold-hearted one, or am I, right?
He is cold-hearted.
and so, by the way, revving up your metabolism by eating more meals a day is not correct. It's incorrect. Your cells are doing what they're meant to do, and they keep on going. So don't give up. All right. Olga.
Chada Gonzalez. Okay, thank you so much. I have I have day 5 blast embryos. My fingers are crossed.
So crossed and clasped. This is it. It's not luck. It's faith that will bring the thing to you, which again, it's just a change of your language a little bit. And
your baby already exists in the universe and is coming to you. But babies do not come to parents who have negative thoughts.
It's true, right? But remember, it's the more positive thoughts we bring to our negativity, then the universe will unfold in better ways. So it's just a slight change. It's not very much, right? It's not very much, because obviously humans have babies that often we think, how come they had a baby and they look unhealthy and I don't? Because there's some mystery to all this that we have to just leave it to the higher powers to help us figure out. But
and let me add one thing. Your thoughts is not independent of your body functions. Your thoughts control your body functions. So if you're thinking negatively and you're not confident, your body functions are also behaving in the same way. There's a connection, a huge connection.
Was it the lion in the Wizard of Oz? And it was I can do it, or I got to look back at the movie. But look, the more you shift the language, the more amazing things will unfold in your life. And the secret really is faith in God and the higher power within all of us. The more we recognize that in our lives, and we're just Western trained physicians that have realized that you can combine East and West, and it makes a much better weave of creativity, because we do surgeries, we do work in the immune field and inflammatory field in the Western sciences of treating with IVIG, intralipids and Neupogen and Humira. We recognize that there's surgical approaches and clinical approaches to all of this. So always be open and grateful. Yes, Yalitza, good question, Dr. Faruqi.
Can we take ovarian bloom through TWW? I stopped because the bottle says if pregnant, consult.
These are all good to take, even while you're pregnant, by the way. But we generally recommend the ovarian bloom is there to help get your eggs and embryos in a better site for implantation. And then once you're pregnant, simply on the molecular fertility supplement for preconception and conception are the ways to go. But most of all, stick to faith and fertile foods for the Ferraris. That's 23-in-1. Even when you're pregnant, you don't want to eat all day, and you want to minimize the plant material, because plants are the predators and they don't want you to make babies. And it's the craziest thing I've ever learned. There's a great journal, United States Department of Agriculture has a journal on the plants that kill livestock. I guess in some way we're the domesticated human stock, right? We've been domesticated, and all of our damage and disease is caused by the wrong diet and lifestyle for us humans. Prayers, Chata Gonzalez, always prayers and faith and visualization, because the greatest of faiths, whichever one you're practicing, bring in the positive, right? Judge not lest ye be judged. Give me your fears and worries and have faith. Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim or Judeo or Hindu or an agnostic atheist or simply a spiritualist, we're all on this great journey together. Mamasola 7. You want to get that one, Dr. Faruqi?
I've been eating keto, clean, mostly carnivore at about 19.5. Do I need to adjust my diet at all in prep for egg retrieval this month and frozen transfers soon after? How about pregnancy?
I wash my food also, but the terms clean, organic, and I don't know, whatever things that we're using, I think are interesting, but maybe switch it to more 23-in-1. And look at Kiltz's keto lifestyle. We've seen so much success. Don't forget the ovarian bloom and the molecular fertility for men and women, and more of this. more going slow, light yoga, cool yoga, more journaling about the beautiful baby I'm having, right? And whether you're in a single solo relationship or a male or female relationship, it doesn't matter. We're all here to take care of you, whether you're defined gender, male or female, or transgender, or bisexual, or homosexual, lesbian, it doesn't matter. At CNY Fertility, size, shape, age, weight, whatever it is, we are here to listen and learn from you and take care of you as the beautiful gods and goddesses that we all have within us. So respect is really critical in all of our fertility worlds. We must do better. Cheryl, how you guys doing? Hi to Brandon. All right. Is coffee inflammatory to drink?
I don't think nothing in excess, but if you moderate.
1 cup. I'm on my 1 cup a day right now, and I would say 1 cup in with more water, but it's a plant particle.
Yeah.
It too may have inflammatory processes that affects our fertility. So fat, a little bit of protein, and water and air, and slow it down. That's what I think is really the biggest one. Is prednisone taking orally once a day instead of twice a day effective for frozen? Yes. Jeanette 35922. You can do it either once or twice a day. I recommend the 5 to 10 of prednisone. You can use dexamethasone. There are others, but always along with some other anti-inflammatory, I think, is the key. Benjamin.
I've had 4 C-sections and I'm planning to have a 5th one via IVF. Can we do embryo transfer and egg retrieval? How soon can we do it? Is that the question? How many months do we have to wait after a C-section? We had this question last time I was here too. Not long.
3 to 4 months. When
Yes.
we do large myomectomies, we're helping people pretty quickly, but somewhere between 3 and 6 months, and we'll work with you.
Also your age, huh? You have to be careful.
What do you have to be careful about? What are you talking about? I'm 65. Are you judging me because of my age?
No, I've been judging you since I met you.
Look, every human being can be healthy and well at any age. And there are women at 65 having babies healthier than 35. So again, we are judging age in the wrong way. Every human being is youthful and young. You just have to change the mind and the mouth and the motion of the body.
Yeah, but let me tell you what I meant. What I meant was that if you're in your 40s and you want to wait for your C-section, you can still make your embryos and keep them, come back and do a transfer later. That's what I meant.
Right. So what you're saying is that if the waiting 6 months to a year is going to hinder your ability to make embryos and freeze them, then sooner is better.
Yeah.
And obviously, women are more fertile in their teens and 20s than their 30s and 40s. And so I think that, forgive me, Dr. Faruqi, if I in any way sounded as if I was chastising your opinion. We have fun with this. And the more we have fun with these questions and comments and answers, and look at, I thought this dietary stuff that I'm doing is the craziest shit I've ever learned. I used to say diet doesn't matter, acupuncture doesn't matter, massage doesn't matter, and faith and prayer doesn't matter. That's where I came from. But I've learned through pain and suffering and failure. The more I have pain, suffering, and failure, the more God keeps on feeding me lessons to learn new ways. And I would say that we're on the mission of learning every day in every way. Blast a 4-day blast instead of 5-day blast could means genetic issues to blast. So look at, when does blast happen? Naturally, we have some opinions, but no one really knows. There could be genetic abnormalities with a normal forming embryo. I would say have faith in your embryo like you have faith in your child, your kindergartner, your 10th grader. Have faith in them for sure. All right, here's a question for Dr. Faruqi. Chelsea Nicole,
I'm ready for my rainbow. I've had 6 recurrent miscarriages, 110 pounds, 5 feet 2. I have a very hard time gaining weight. So to have PCOS and small spot of endo, I've had 2 laparoscopic surgeries to remove endo. Rainbow.
So remember this.
Yeah.
What is the cause of all disease? It's a high plant-based diet. It's not your weight. If you're 220 pounds or 120 pounds,
Yeah.
it's still caused by what's in the bowels, the digestive tract, which is a digester. But if you add the fat, which is twice the calories, look at Kiltz's ice cream recipe. It's a home run. It's cream and eggs, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of white sugar. It will increase your weight because you have to eat fat to gain the weight, but it's eating fat, but gaining more weight isn't necessary. It's getting rid of the inflammation. The plants make the poisons and chemicals to cause endo and PCOS. That's as simple as that. Nothing else matters. We're eating the wrong diet for the human Ferrari, the temple, the lioness, and the lion, right?
Imagine if lions ate fruit and vegetables. What would happen to them?
They'd be humans. And remember, cats and dogs in the wild were carnivores like lions and wolves. But domestication, we feed them grass and grains, plants and vegetables, which are in the category of deadly for human beings. But it's all domestication. It's simple. Diana Costa, you want to get that one, and I'll come over here to our Instagram.
Would you do IVF for someone who's had 17 intestinal resections from Crohn's disease without using a donor egg? Well, if you got eggs, yes, we would.
But remember, the cause of Crohn's is the diet you're eating. If you get rid of fiber, fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts, Crohn's goes away. It's really a difficult concept that I didn't believe it. But basically, this is where eating fat is the fuel for the Ferrari. And yes, we can absolutely help many people with Crohn's and IBS and colon resections all day long, intestinal resections all day long. We're seeing so many women that have had all these surgeries, and voila, pregnancy can happen. But you got to remember that the inflammation in the gut is the first source of all those nasty, devilish plant particles that want to kill us or ruin our reproduction. It's crazy. Let's come over here.
The question about methotrexate there, that's a good one.
Go ahead.
Doctors, how much time after methotrexate injection to resolve an ectopic pregnancy can we try for a baby? Is a wait required? What do you think, Rob?
30 days. That's all I recommend. 30 days.
Well, it just so happens that when you have an ectopic pregnancy, by the time your HCG becomes negative, it takes about 30 days.
Right.
So you really don't need to wait.
Look at the 3 to 6 months. I don't know where we make this stuff up. Even those women who have had gastric bypass or sleeve, they say wait a year or 2. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And fat, my friends, is the fertile fuel for the Ferrari. Obesity causes no disease. You just have disease doctors that don't understand the Ferrari. The way it works is simple. That's it. All right. We are, oh my God, 11:10. Listen, a beautiful April the 11th, Sunday. Dr. Faruqi is going back home to Montreal, and we're all sharing this journey of creating together every single day. We are grateful to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for helping us on all levels. No matter, again, your description, we honor you and love you in every single way. We're glad you joined us. Any last words, Dr. Faruqi?
Never, ever give up.
So keep at it is the key. Brother Ray, always keep at it. Never give up. Send a tremendous amount of love and likes. All the fertility doctors in this country, this world, are doing an awesome job. We're all learning together. And your OBGYN, your family practice doc, and all the naturopaths and chiropractors and acupuncturists and all of us together are helping work this journey. But number one, faith in food and fertile motion will create your fertile life and bring that beautiful baby to your life. And by the way, gestational carriers, we're here to help you also. God bless. So see you guys next week, if not sooner. Again, pictures in the office. We appreciate by all of us, and we'll see you later. God bless you guys.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye, everyone.